Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome back to the Boris FX Arena, where the world's most extraordinary Autodesk flame... I'm going to try that again. I think I missed my first cue. We're right out of the gate. If only Randy McEntee were here. God. Happy Sunday, everyone. Welcome back to the Boris FX Arena, where the world's most extraordinary Autodesk flame artists take on the world's most ordinary tasks live, head-to-head, from deep inside the Renderdome. I'm your host, Andy Milkis, and alongside me are my co-hosts Amanda Elliott and Jeff Kyle. How you doing today, Amanda?
Doing great.
God, for a minute there, I thought I was muted. This is what Randy's done to me. He's got me conditioned to figure that it's going to happen every time. Oh, my God. And welcome to the Renderdome, Jeff. I love your shirt.
Thank you. Great to be here. Oh, yeah. Got to represent. Got to represent.
Right? And let's also say hello to the man behind the curtain, the wizard of vMix, the stream master general, the lovely and talented Bryan Fox. How you doing, Bryan?
Yay, Bryan.
Hey, Jeff. Hey, Amanda. Hey, Andy. Hey, everyone. Where is Randy, by the way? Is he working today? What is happening?
That's our hashtag.
What's going on? Hashtag where is Randy?
He's actually developing a new line of Logik merch that says hashtag where is Randy on it. It'll be available in the store by the end of the show, I'm sure.
Exciting to screw up another Renderdome, right? Let's
I can't wait.
See what happens.
Let's get it done.
What wonders await. Let's do it. Events like Renderdome just would not be possible without the generous support of our sponsors. So, Bryan, if you could cue up the first slide there. We'll give a shout out to our friends at AJA. They make the best video hardware in the business and have been an essential part of Flame since 2006. For more information about their pro video solutions, check out www.aja.com. And Randy and I would like to extend a huge Logik welcome to our newest sponsor, HotSpring. HotSpring is a curated network of artists delivering top-of-the-line roto, paint, 3D tracking, asset creation, and support comp. Powered by a proprietary software platform, HotSpring makes it easier than ever to tap into the best talent the world has to offer in just a few clicks. Utilized by over 100 studios, big and small, HotSpring is building a new model for outsourcing. Check them out at www.thehotspring.com. And again, welcome to the Logik family.
That's hot.
Right? If you need tech support... If you need tech support, it's so easy to throw me off. It's amazing. If you need tech support, call Jack Horrocks at jack@flametech.com.au. He's there for all your tech support needs, whether it's if you're expanding your system, if you're adding new hardware, networking, storage, custom builds, reach out to Jack. He'll take care of you, jack@flametech.com.au. And now onto my favorite slide of the entire thing. This! If you're in the market for anything that Boris FX makes, any of their incredible plugins, you can save 15% on everything, standalone or subscription, when you use the code LOGIK-15 at checkout. Thank you very much, Boris FX.
Kudos, Andy, for using the black on black logo. I mean,
yes.
Why use the one with a white outline over black? You know, it's kudos on that.
Sometimes what we do is we plant those to see if anyone actually sees it. You know. And
sure.
And it worked. So actually, kudos to you, Bryan.
Kudos for
having the eye, the discerning the eye. Yeah, 10 points to Bryan for being the shepherd of his artwork.
20 points to me for not fixing.
And 30 points for actually.
Yeah, I have been using this for almost 2 years. So.
All right, moving on.
But I guarantee you, it'll be replaced by Renderdome 4, which the rate we're going is going to be sometime in 2027.
Nice.
Onward. Speaking of thanks, we want to thank all of our patrons at Patreon who help make Logik possible. Here's the roll call, and if we go to the next slide, Bryan's going to read everybody's name. Bryan, go ahead.
Adam Taylor, Amanda Elliott, Andy Dill, Antonio Garcia.
We are up to...
And don't mess it up.
It's when I was going through the slides for Renderdome 2, we only had, I think it was like 15 patrons. And so Randy and I are super grateful. We could not have... This community would not exist without your support. So thank you very much to all of our patrons. If you'd like to become a patron of Logik, you can head on over to patreon.com/LogikTV, which looks a lot
you do.
like this.
There it is.
Little late.
Nice. And we want to give a quick shout out to our friends in Detroit. The inaugural Detroit Flame User Group meeting, thank you, is happening on Thursday, August 18th at 6:30 p.m. at Flavor. On the next slide, we've got the lineup of who's
what a
presenting
lineup.
there. It's an all-star lineup, right?
My Lord.
Wow.
My Lord.
Right. Fred Warren from Autodesk, Steve Swipe, Brooks Tomlinson. Finn Yeager is going to be in town. He's the king of the Discord. Javi Mendez from Cinesys. And not just because it's Detroit, but because it's Detroit, pizza and beer will be provided, courtesy of our friends at Cinesys. We are told it will be Detroit-style pizza because that is on brand. But I want to congratulate everybody in the market there for putting a user group together. It's a tremendous amount of work, and it's absolutely the most rewarding thing. So thank you very much. All right.
All right.
Let's get back to the Renderdome. Thank you, Brian.
All right.
We have a fantastic show for you today. Amanda, why don't you tell us about today's matchup?
Yes, and first of all, Detroit's my old stomping ground, so I'm actually really excited that there's going to be a Flame music group there this time. Try and make it. I'll do my best, but I'm very excited for Detroit. Okay, so first up from Dallas, Texas, in the USA, we have Bryan Bayley, also known just as Bayley, because the world doesn't have enough Bryans. Anyway, Bryan, how's it going? Or Bayley, how's it going?
Hey, good. Very good, very good. Ready to go. Excited. This is what the off-season was for, getting ready for this moment.
Yes.
Perfect.
That's the spirit. That's the mindset right there. That's a man who's come to win.
Okay, the second contestant, and from, let's see here, Hamburg, Germany. Let's give a warm Renderdome welcome to Bernd Hildebrandt. How you doing, Bernd?
Hello, I'm fine, thanks. I'm really excited and a little bit scared.
We all are.
That's the perfect combination.
We all are.
Who's that? Who's that behind you there, Bernd?
It's in my dog, Stella.
Oh, you win. You win.
That's it.
Is there a light on the dog, too? Does she have a light on? That's awesome.
Yeah, so you can see her if she's not sleeping all of the time.
Love it. Love it.
Brilliant. Well, we have one heck of a matchup here. For those of you new to the Renderdome, think of Renderdome as like Iron Chef, but for flame artists. Our contestants have already downloaded the footage for today's challenge. This is a Conform challenge, so there's a lot of footage. But the rough cuts and the Conform prep are contained in a series of encrypted zip files. The zip files contain tasks that many of us have been asked to do before, but never live, never head-to-head, and never with a live internet audience. Once we reveal the password, our contestants will be off and running. They'll have 45 minutes to complete their conforms. At any time, we could spring some changes on them and add or remove time from the clock, just like a real session with clients. And remember, an event like this is absolutely nothing without friendly trash talking in the chat. So please keep it PG rated and heckle away. And as I glance over, I can see that our reliable audience has already begun.
It's already started?
Way to go,
Is that
team.
what's going on?
Yes. Oh, yes.
But in addition to the trash talking, Andy, this is an excellent opportunity for the community to ask questions. We have two amazingly talented and legendary flame artists here today, as well as myself, Jeff Kyle, and Andy Milkis. So, people of the world watching us today, if you have any questions for either of our contestants about what they're doing, you can ask them in the chat, and if we feel like it, maybe we'll pass them along.
Absolutely.
Love it. And for all of you at home, please take this time to hit like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Smash those buttons, as Randy likes to say. Oh, look at Brian. Brian is giving me all the signal from a man who is a professional streamer.
Expert.
Turn it blue.
It's right here. Yes.
Click it.
Love it.
Click it.
Brian, let's show everyone at home what Bayley and Bernd are competing for, shall we?
What? Look at this.
Right.
Unbelievable.
The winner of today's
Beautiful.
Renderdome will receive a Wacom Cintiq Pro 16-inch tablet, courtesy of Wacom, valued at $1,495. That's got a 4K IPS display, 1,001 contrast ratio, and 8,192 pen pressure levels.
Yeah, and it just looks cool.
And the runner-up, and it does look cool, right?
Yeah, I like it.
And I don't know if Tim Farrell is in the chat, it comes with 13 replacement nibs, and I know that those are very important to the discerning Wacom user. The runner-up is going to receive a 12-month license of the Boris FX suite. That's everything that Boris FX makes. Continuum, Mocha Pro, Optics, Particle, Illusion, Sapphire, and Silhouette, courtesy of our friends at Boris FX. Thank you very much, Brian Fox, and that's a $1,295 value. So that's what's at stake, gentlemen. All right. Let's see here. You're not watching Andy scroll his script in real time. Jeff.
Off script. The script is over.
I'm going to throw. It says here, throw it to Jeff. Jeff, you prepared the material for today, and I can almost see like the Bond villain kind of thing going on, like right here. Like I asked Jeff if he'd be interested in preparing the material for a Conform challenge, and instantly, like, the lighting changed, and he was like, "Why, yes, I absolutely would."
And then his
Jeff,
cats,
did you give our contestants
right? The cats.
and his cat Lydia, whose tail will just be like Blofeld, his tail's going to be going. Will you give our audience at home and our contestants a little bit of a description as to what they can expect today?
Yes, absolutely. The narrative for today is that I am your producer, and I'm feeding you the information provided to me from the client and the various other companies we're working with. And you can ask me any questions that come up, and I'll be sure to shoot off some emails to get answers. But obviously, in reality, I was the editor, the mix house, the client, the agency. But that ruins the narrative that we have going here, so we'll just ignore that.
Still
for
not
now.
your fault.
But the bottom, yeah. So everything is my fault, just as usual. The bottom line, though, is that we are working on a commercial for a little something called Logik Jumpstart, which I guess the specifics don't really matter too much, but when we watch the rough cut down shortly, I think it will truly speak for itself. But the important facts are that the main spot is a 15 that we've been calling Anthem, and there are 2 6-second cut downs called Cafe and Florist that each have 3 aspect ratios, so 7 spots total. Right now, the narrative is that we have edit approval on the 15 and some of the 6s, but we're still getting our final approvals out on the remaining aspect ratios. So in other words, you're getting some of the conforms right away, but the rest of them will get a little bit later. Other than that, the spot has some legals, some graphics, a mix, just everything you'd expect in a normal conform. Is some of it going to be revised when the legal team finally gets around to looking at it? Is all of the prep in a great place? I can tell you right now, this is the editor's very first commercial job that he happened to prep himself.
Oh,
and
no.
He's very proud of it. But, as with any maiden voyage, there's always the chance that the ship doesn't quite float all the way there, so we'll see how that goes. But the last little bit of notes I have is that the client is very appreciative that you're fitting this job in such a tight turnaround. It's going to make us, the company Logik, look very good if we can pull it off. The creatives have supplied us with some red pens, but I've already had a conversation with them that the turnaround for the job is a little bit too much, and if we can't get to it, we can't get to it, and they're okay with that. It's the kind of retouch that, if we get to it, great. If not, they can live without it. So we'll see where we land once we get into it.
Yeah.
I just an update from the chat. We've just gotten our, 46 viewers is the magic number, Brian Fox. In case you were wondering, we just got our first case of being spam botted.
Oh my God.
in the chat. I'm frantically removing and reporting, but bringing it back to the Renderdome here.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Everybody sees it and they go,
That's like good.
right? That
like
means
relevant.
we've arrived. Wewe've reached like that next
We
plateau
did it.
of internet relevance when all of a sudden we're getting spam.
We can all retire
botted.
now.
I mean, I am tired of
with
being
that-
alone, so like, I may click on that if I see
Yeah.
it again. All right, I could actually
there's opportunity.
I could actually do a setting to turn it to strict if we can, or I'll monitor it too. I'll monitor it too.
Yeah, we're taking notes. But Brian, before you monitor that, would you? Why don't you mind playing? Would you? Yeah, if you wouldn't mind, would you play the 15-second spot, the rough cut, so our viewers at home and the contestants can see what we're working with?
Absolutely.
Yes, this will be the contestants' first time.
Show me what
seeing
you're
it,
working
too.
with.
Yes, this is their first time seeing it. They've seen the footage, but
Heart and soul of any city, but they take time to grow. Logik Jumpstart gives your small business individualized care from some of the best flame artists in the business. Logik Jumpstart. We're not sure what it means either.
very
What?
anthemic.
You want to do it again? You want
I
to do it
love
again?
it.
Just take
Yeah,
pick
let's
one
do it
more.
one more time.
more.
Let's do one more.
Small businesses are the heart and soul of any city, but they take time to grow. Logik Jumpstart gives your small business individualized care from some of the best flame artists in the business. Logik Jumpstart. We're not sure what it means either.
There you go.
And,
I think, by the way, I would like to give
great.
bonus points.
The button got me.
Bonus points. Yeah, right. And bonus points to Jeff Kyle for accurately creating like that horrible, rough screen comp that you do in like, your offline editing software. So that was done just with beautiful precision accuracy. That's got 2 keyframes of glory right there. Contestants, are you ready? Are you ready to face the Renderdome?
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Hey, I have one
All
thing.
right.
Before we get started, Andy, you want to tell people how we're actually going to choose the winner this time? It's new, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes. Thank you very much, Brian.
How are we
we're
doing
going
this?
to put at the end of Renderdome, we are going to put a poll in the YouTube chat. And the audience at home will be choosing the winner for today's Renderdome in that poll. So stick around to the end, ladies and gentlemen, because you're going to be a part of the process. Bryan, if you want to run and get a dog and bring it into your shot, this would be the time to do it, just to make things even.
Biz will make an appearance now. I'm sorry, I'm going to bring it in. Oh, which Bryan? Yeah, wrong one.
Exactly.
Yeah, too many. All right, go.
All right. Actually, I should ask real quick, Bryan Bayley and Bernd, what do you think of the cut that you saw, and how are you feeling before we start? We'll start with Bernd.
It is a normal 15-second spot, so it should go.
It should.
All right, famous last words.
It shouldn't.
Should.
And Bailey, what about you? What do you think?
Well, first of all, I'm utterly impressed that Jeff burned in the source time code, because that is something that I ask for every time and rarely get. So that's awesome.
You know what? Let me tell you a little bit about that. I had to cheat. It wasn't that easy. I burned it in the way that I think you're supposed to in Premiere. I use Premiere, and then I tested it myself, and it was totally wrong. So much of it was so wrong. So props to the assistant editors for actually pulling it off sometimes, because I actually had to conform it in Flame, use Flame's burn in, and then render that out as like an alpha, and then use that as, it was crazy. It was crazy. So wow. I had to give that to you though, because it was a little too much without it.
Cool.
All right, let's get going here. Jeff, would you like to reveal the first password for Prep 1?
Yes, for the Prep 1 zip that you may extract now, the password is, and I think we have a graphic, pancakes. All lowercase, plural, pancakes. Breakfast of champions.
So Bernd and Bryan are now furiously unzipping the Prep 01 folder using the super secret password. And this is what's in there. Jeff, do you want to describe what we've got in that prep folder for them?
Ooh.
Yeah, it's right what you'd expect
organized
for a normal Conform job. It is the approved rough cuts, their corresponding XMLs, and the legals and graphics. Again, the mix house hasn't finished doing the mix yet, and the editor is still working out the final version for the remaining versions. There's 2 other versions, so I'll send those over when I receive them. But yep, this is what they got for now.
And nicely put in folders. That's very nice.
Folders and
Bernd and Bryan, you got everything unzipped?
Yep, it's working.
I do. Yep.
All right. So we've got the old, why don't you get started now, and we'll send you the rest of the prep when it's approved scenario, which is something we're all familiar with. And I say we get this thing going. All right. Amanda, do you want to kick off Renderdome 3?
Oh my gosh. See, I'm the one now scrolling in the script. Where are we? Okay. So why don't you kick this? Okay. All right, Flame Artists, you've seen the secret ingredient, so sharpen your stylus. You have 45 minutes to make the best, or the worst, conforms of your entire lives. But hey, no pressure. But all of your peers are watching you, and we are a very judgmental group. So are you guys ready to render?
Ready.
Yep, let's go.
Ready? All right, on your marks, get set, flame on.
Flame on. Renderdome 3 is it's underway. There we
it
go.
Is. Nice.
Just use all the sound effects.
I got a soft spot for a man with a soundboard.
On point. He's on point.
Oh my goodness.
So
Jeff, I wrote
some
stray.
Let's bring up one or both of their flames. You see Bryan Fox sweating profusely.
Give me 1 second. Maybe I should start the
timer.
Already.
Let's start the timer.
Yeah.
Let's start the timer.
Yeah. Look at that. You can actually watch in real time. His forehead is getting shinier and shinier. Someone adjust the color temperature on Bryan's camera because it's getting a little warm in there, methinks.
What was this about being a judgmental group?
There
we go.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, there we go. The clock has officially started. Look at Bernd and
Okay,
Bryan. Look at the determination on their faces. We have to look at their faces because Bryan Fox can't seem to get the flames up.
Okay.
But,
Here we go. Here's
Oh, there we go.
There we
Look
go.
at that beautiful EDL.
Jeff, what are you seeing here?
I'm seeing, some unlinked footage. That's to be expected. But I'm also seeing some bloat in that EDL. It looks like we're just in the left part of it, but there might be some extra stuff onto the right. Ooh, don't you hate when that happens?
Yes.
Yeah, I know, right? Things are just everywhere in those EDLs. You never know. Some stuff at the back end might be useful for what you need. What's that?
Jeff, let me ask you this.
Yes.
Oh wait, the music started. Awesome. Okay. Jeff,
sweet.
you've been in this hot seat before. What's going through the minds of Bayley and Bernd right now?
Yeah, they're just doing their best to try to understand what the editor was thinking, what is extra stuff that was part of the ideation process, and what is actually needed for the conform. It's something that they're going to have to figure out as they go once they start linking the source footage, because they really just got to compare it to that rough cut. But yeah, I think the biggest tip that I can give though is that you know, sometimes editors throw stuff at the end of their timeline and they forget to clean it up. But it's really that first part that's the most important part. At least that's what I've seen in my experience. And as the editor, that's kind of what I did. Left some extra stuff at the end sometimes.
Wink, wink,
God,
nudge,
look at
nudge.
that.
Say no more.
That's a 13-minute
that?
long, 6-second conform. This is the kind of prep you just dream of. I know for me, when I'm doing this, the first step is always choosing nonviolence. As I'm going through the conform and just getting asking myself what's going on here. But really, the first step is laying in the rough cuts, linking to the footage, figuring out what's working, what's not working, and also kind of looking for the gotchas. We're looking at Bernd's screen here, and he's got, that must be the laptop comp. It's got a nested container, and those always present challenges.
Yeah, you got to have the nested sequences. Otherwise, is it really a conform?
Oh, bingo.
Right, and here's the other thing with Premiere, though, too, coming from an editorial background, is you were absolutely right, Jeff. Navigating through Premiere to be able to get some of that source time code and any other time codes in there, it's kind of a finesse little process, especially if you have time warps with a regular clip nested in something else. You can't just throw a source time code on top of that. So, yeah, actually props to you for getting that in there.
Yeah, I think it's an accurate representation of because I've done, I can't put a number on how many conforms I've done, but I've done enough that I felt comfortable doing this whole prep thing because I've seen a lot of stuff, and nested sequences is one of them. And if you've done enough, you know that as annoying as it is that it's a flattened sequence, if the XML is not totally broken, you could always uncontain it and get whatever was inside of it, and that's not the end of the world. And oh my God, I see a sources sequence from Bryan Bayley. Love what I see. Love the sources sequence. So glad you do that.
Brian Fox.
And speaking of source,
where are we on the counter?
Oh yeah, where is that?
It's there in spirit.
Oh, there we go. All right, no, that's fine. It was inside of 4 minutes when Jeff Kyle's dream came true. He was able to see some connected conform, see a sources sequence, and I want to thank Bayley for that.
Oh, I was going to say on that same note, if you guys haven't seen the Logic Live episode 47, which is the connected conform with Jeff Kyle, definitely check that out.
Wow, I got a shout out.
You're going to get another one as a shout out for Jeff's fantastic connected conform Logic Academy series.
Ooh.
It's great. It covers
all
all
that's
kinds
right.
of
Part
gotchas.
1, 2, and 3. That's right.
Yes. All kinds of workflows, all kinds of gotchas. So it looks like Bernd is making good progress here. There appears to be at least one clip that he's having trouble linking.
Yeah, let me tell you about that clip. Oh man. Really, there was some things that, some aspects of this I tried to lay some booby traps, but then this clip not linking, that's a great example of I had no intention of making that clip hard to link. It just so happens that with a variable speed time warp and 25 frame per second footage in a 23976 conform, it's just a perfect storm of a disaster where that clip was not linking. It was unbelievable. The way that I was able to link it, I really just had to throw away all the time code as far as the conforming aspect, and then just link it with the name. That's the only way that'll make it work.
It's like a happy mistake.
Bernd doing some eye matching here. The tension in the room is palpable, yet it has not affected Bernd's dog at all.
Not at all.
Wondering. Here we go. Cue the music change. Yes, it's now like the Matrix. Bryan Bayley is now running up the wall in slow motion. He's
I will
conforming
say,
all
the
6 spots
Matrix
at the same
music
time.
is appropriate for just how fast Bernd is working. It's like lightning
Bernd
speed.
he's focused, laser focused in lightning speed. It's amazing.
He knows Kung Fu Conform.
This is my favorite angle. Just intense.
Well, we got the dogs.
Yeah.
That's good.
Man is all business. Let's cut over and see what's going on with Bayley. There you go.
There he is.
This man is all
He's got his
business.
playoff beard in full effect. This is great.
This is really throwing me off, this one.
Yeah,
He's
I will
employed
say
the
the
use
time
of a
code is
difference
right.
to. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to talk over you there, Jeff.
Oh no, yeah, I love the difference as well. But I was just gonna impart my producer wisdom that the editor told me that he feels very good about the Viz time code. So if you want to rely on the Viz time code, that should help you out there.
I'm not seeing that match up.
Uh-oh.
I was going to say, I don't think Bryan trusts his producer. That's kind of, we're getting an inside look here into the.
So what
into the day
other
in the life of
strategies are
Bayley.
you? What else other strategies are you using, Mr. Bayley? What's going on here? So if that's not working, what else you got?
Well, I'm looking side by side right now, but I also like to do difference a lot. I think I heard y'all saying that. Because if they haven't reframed it at all, you'll find that frame where it clicks in and it's black. But my source seems to be... So he's got 20 for the hour, and my source starts at 21, so something's not right. I'm going to come back to that
that's
one.
weird.
It's weird how that happens.
Gonna have to talk to your producer about that.
Yeah, I'm happy to look into it right now. Could we see if the source clip that you're looking at is the same clip that the EDL is pointing you to?
Yeah, I've got the same name. Yeah, the names are the same.
I'm not seeing the flame screen
Yeah.
move. Is
Oh, you
that
know what? It
frozen
looks
on
like it looks like Bailey's flame feed is locked up. You might need to click reconnect, I guess. Right, Bryan?
Yeah, you on the flame only source? Yeah, you want to give us a reconnect. Let me jump over to Bernd while he's doing that.
Oh, look at this.
Like Bernd is also using the difference technique.
Love the difference. I swear by the difference. I live and die by difference.
I kind of flip back and forth between like vertical, like seeing source and record, and then the difference. Just every once in a while, sometimes maybe they did a little something over to the right and they forgot to bring a layer over. Like maybe they could have done a split screen. But yeah, definitely difference. We'll check all of that. But sometimes I do like a horizontal, vertical, flip back between all those three.
Looks like Bernd is tackling the variable speed time warp here. And he's nailing it.
You know, I have to say, I've never watched somebody conform before. It's amazing.
Just yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because like I feel like you know, if you're watching like a football match or something and you just want to yell at the screen, but I'm not going to do that. This is great.
Ooh, what's going on here?
Oh, look
Just
at
matched out
Bernd
all his
just
shots in
made
the
a
batch?
whole bunch of batch groups.
Wow.
He's preparing for the worst and or best.
Yeah, maybe we need it later. Who knows?
You never know. This is clearly a man who's been in battle before against the conformed forces of evil and knows what to expect.
Okay, Bryan, I do
Am I back up?
see your, you know, with, I don't know if this is better or worse. It's just a little different. I do see your flame now, but you are frozen. So maybe give a reconnect on your camera when you have a chance. But I'll take your flame over your cam. I'm just gonna put it out there. Much happier to see that.
Noted.
I wonder if it's like, oh, there you go.
Oh, there he's
Look at
back.
that.
How about-
Look at that.
I'm back.
Perfect, Bryan. Thanks.
And we're back.
Bryan should get extra points for tech difficulty from the
Oof.
Yes.
from the public access director who's screwing him up right now.
Absolutely.
That is my
And
worst
also,
nightmare,
thanks,
so
Randy.
it's something to deal with.
Difference or die from Randy McKenzie. Gotta love that.
Difference or die. How many points do you think that's worth
Difference or
if we had
die.
to put a point value on this point system that's very important in the Renderdome here?
What difference
Like
or
out of
die?
title save.
27.3.
For Brian's technical
23.98
I think
points.
that's more of a 15 points or 23. Nice. Nice.
25
Yeah.
FPS. Whole scores are for rookies, so
Yeah,
maybe
7.5
25.3.
IRE points. The longer this goes on, the older and older the references are going to be. All right. Bryan
Let's head
Bayley,
back
how much
over
do
to
you hate
Bernd.
flower shops?
I don't know. It's interesting. There's a lot of good stuff in there to help me get my resize set up here.
Uh-oh, is he frozen again? There we go.
Oh, I think, yeah, Flame might be frozen again. We're going back to Bernd, who is doing a little bit of resizing here to try to match the rough cut, as we call it. Randy McEntee, I believe we finally broke even on our investment in stock footage with this Renderdome challenge. So thank you, Jeff.
Oh yeah, I used so much stock. Actually, I downloaded an unbelievable. I mean, I did the full process on my end. I downloaded like maybe 180 shots and just like got to work editing this stuff. Picked the best shots. Made the narrative for Logik Jumpstart. The best way for flame artists to help small businesses around the country.
So are you guys seeing this right now? He's going through, Bernd is going through renaming shots. He's breaking stuff out. He's already got stuff taken out in batches. What else is going on here? What's your thought process, Bernd, right now of like why you're setting everything up like this?
Let's say I'm used to it. Almost every shot needs some retouches, so I just make a batch group, and if I don't need it, I can still delete it later.
That makes perfect sense to me.
Nice. Solid.
Totally.
What
While-
hotkeys are you using? Do you use Smoke Classic or do you use like Flame hotkeys? Bernd.
A smoke.
Oh,
Oh,
yes.
wow.
Smoke Classic for life.
Yep.
Wow.
I just like, don't get the idea of this flame buttons.
Yeah, it's
let's
taking
not
me
get
forever to learn
personal,
those down.
Bernd. We're all friends here.
Wild and woolly
Remember,
technical
we did
difficulties
not
going
choose
on
violence.
behind
Did
the
not choose
screens.
violence.
Oh yeah,
Let me show you
it's gonna
guys.
be a hell of a post game
This
show.
is-
A post game
Br-
like
We're looking at Brian's flame. We're looking at Brian's flame
Yeah.
right now. Don't have
Yep.
Brian on camera, but we got Brian working in flame.
it's all right.
which-
We're feeling his presence
Nice.
through his flame work. He's hiding segments.
I believe
He's
Brian.
he's
Brian,
currently
do you
uncontaining.
hear
Can you
us,
hear me?
Brian? Yeah,
Can
we
you
can hear
hear
you.
me?
Cool.
Yes, we can hear Brian. Yes.
All right.
Cool.
I'm gonna let's try killed my webcam to see if
Yeah.
that helps the
Yep.
flame stay up.
Yeah, let's roll like this, and I'll build some setups and without your camera. But I think this is the way to go.
Cool.
Ooh,
I
so
say
here's
that-
a question for Jeff. I got a question for you, Jeff, about like Conform prep stuff. So just because we have a ton of people watch, yeah, we do. We have all sorts of people watching. We got new flame artists. We probably have junior artists, senior artists. We got a ton of people watching. So right here, if you want to use a connecting Conform, say for example, on this Jumpstart website PSD, can you do a connecting Conform for maybe just titles? Can you do them for slates? Does it only have to be just footage?
No, you can absolutely use connected conform for graphics, all things graphics. It works wonders. There's no issue with it. I think the only time that you want to be a little bit careful is when you have different aspect ratio stuff and using that sync button to sync the graphics up. If you positioned a graphic in one spot on a 16:9 and you have it positioned in a similar way, like in a different spot on the 9x16, that syncing would really ruin that. But what the connected conform would do is allow you to replace that graphic everywhere that it exists very easily. And the connected conform also allows you to branch things off. So if you use one graphic for the 16:9 and a different graphic for the 9x16, it's very easy to just replace all the 9x16s, all the 16:9s with that connected conform. So yeah, I think it's great. And I don't know if I probably don't touch too much on it in my tutorials for the connected conform tutorials that I made. But if you want to know more, I'm happy to talk to you about it one-on-one in Discord or the forums or anything. That sounds like a lot of fun. I've used it all the time.
Yeah, so even if you had like maybe one version that was an alt version that maybe had like a alt B that had just like, you know, like move it up 10 pixels or something like that. Is that something that's easily adjustable to not have it affect everything else, but have an alt version per se?
Yeah, well, if you have one version, I guess it depends on the context. If you have like one version where you need the logo to be a little bit different, then you probably don't really need to connect that, because like why would you if it's one version? But if you have like, I don't know, 10 versions that are like 10 pixels different, again, it all depends on what your scenario and what you want to be able to make easier. If you want to send that 10 pixel difference to 10 different versions, there's a way to branch those versions off so that you're able to like branch these versions off and then sync that 10 pixel difference. But again, it does get a little bit complicated if different aspect ratios are involved, but I think there are ways to do what you're asking for, yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was just working on a job just last week where it was like we had all these different deliverables, like 100 different ones, you know, like 10 here, 10 there, 4x5, 1x1s, 9x16s. But they wanted just one alt that had something where it was moved up, like just a little bit, but just one. But we didn't know that until like a little bit later on down the line. So I thought maybe it was going to be an alt version of like a different color, but the placement would be the same. But then it turned out the placement was different. So there's an easy way to take that one alt version and just disconnect it from the rest. So then you can just replace that one, move 10 pixels up.
Very easy. Yeah, I'm very comfortable with that. I'd love to show you, or anyone for that matter, whenever.
I just know there's a lot of people that probably don't use Conform that often, though, too.
I was just watching Bryan. Bryan was using the Explorer to throw some timeline effects that he's using regularly in that kind of shared space, so he can use them again and again.
You want to hear about that?
Scale fit. Yeah. What's your thought process behind that, Bryan?
That is a awesome expression that Tim made. Where
yes, that's right. He showed it. He showed it. An A/B time.
Since he showed that, I've been using it on everything. You throw it on the segment, and it scales it to 100% to fit, and then from there you can resize. So no matter what size the source is, it goes into the edit fit.
That's great, because obviously you can do that with resize, but not with action. Action, you got to do it yourself.
Yeah. Well, it's an action. And he wrote the expression to make it fit.
I remember that. That's great.
Yeah, good to see that in use. Bryan, did you ever tackle that time warp yet, or have you moved on?
I don't know if it's time warped yet. This one, Flower Shop, something really threw me off, but I think I've got it.
Hate to say it, Bryan, I think you are frozen in your screen share again. That's kind of why I'm off you.
Oof.
Quite know what it is. Only thing I could say at this point would be to, try a reconnect. Or if you're feeling super daring, I could send you a new code. But
I can do that if you want.
Wild and woolly, I will email you and
okay.
And just toss all my setups, right? Let's just do it live. Why not?
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live.
25 minutes.
You know what else has been fun? We got 25 minutes and 50 seconds left in this phase of the Renderdome. Bernd has started drinking, which is always the sign of confidence. Personally, I do that before I begin. And what's really great, we're being spammed again. But prior to that, I was watching Ben Brownlee and Brian Fox go at it in a Boris FX throwdown in our chat, which is pretty amazing. I'm going to go ahead and report this as hate speech this time around. Not Brian and Ben, but the spam that's going on. See if maybe it gets us into a whole new level of algorithm. And
perfect.
Really
we got some all Smoke Classic fans in the YouTube chat. That's awesome.
Yeah. All right, there we go. Austin Campbell.
Well, coming from like an editorial background, I feel like those are a little bit closer. So that's why I chose to stick with Smoke Classic, is because before I got into Flame like full time, I actually would bounce back and forth between editorial. So it's a lot easier to go from like Avid, Final Cut, Premiere hotkeys, and then go straight to like Smoke Classic hotkeys.
Bernd, how many of the conforms have you gotten through already? Is it you got through 2 and you're on your 3rd?
I have 2 already, yes. I'm fighting with the florist 6, as the XML is just nothing compared to the image we have.
Ah, very good. Look at Jeff. Jeff has gotten into his full Bond villain pose with his head resting firmly on his hand.
You've fallen right into my trap.
Yes, my evil plan.
So from the narrative of this job here, I can say, why don't I ask the editor, what's the conform that's giving you trouble?
It is time.
It is the florist 6 seconds in 16 to 9.
16:9. Okay, let me ask the editor. Let me just get him right on the phone real quick. Hey, editor, we're having some trouble with the XML. Do you have anything to say? And okay, let's see. I'll wait to hear back.
That's quick. Yeah,
the editor said, he just got back to me. He said, yeah, I forgot to clean it up, but if you just look at the first part of the XML, that should be the correct part. He says sorry. He says sorry about that. He just forgot to clean it up. He cleaned up all the others, just not that one.
Okay, good to know.
But he does feel confident that the information that you need is there. It just wasn't presented in a very nice way.
But it's there somewhere. You'll get it.
Oh, it is. Yeah. It is.
No, it is.
Yeah, it's always nice when they screw you over, but with good intentions. You know.
There you go.
I have a question for Jeff and Amanda. When you're dealing with a conform, I know that the ultimate goal is to match the offline perfectly, but there are some times when you just can't. Especially with speed ramp to ramp time warps and things like that. What are your strategies then? If you come up against something that is just it worked fine in an offline, in low res and in proxy mode and everything, but when you go ahead and throw in your full res footage there, it just isn't holding up. What's your strategy for solving a problem like that? We'll start with Amanda.
Let's see here. I think it also kind of depends on the client, how well you are with the client in the job, because if it's one of those things where it's not working perfectly, I have to go between motion time warp, or I think it would look better this way. If you feel like you have that relationship where you can put a little bit of input, then I'd say go for it. But I always like to do the first thing, it's called do the boards first. So when I was in editorial, you just cut to the boards first, and then you do their cut, and then you do the director's cut. So I'd say in online, I do the same approach. I do the boards cut, I do the editorial rough cut perfectly, and then I do another version on top of that where I kind of fix it a little bit where I think is best, and then I can always present both.
Cool. What about you, Jeff?
I think, as with anything, it depends on the circumstances, but for the most part, sometimes when you're matching an offline exactly to the letter, pixel perfect, sometimes it's not quite at... let me restart. I think mostly it depends on the intent. You can kind of see where they're going sometimes when they do a move or a time warp, and sometimes it's not so polished, sometimes it's very polished. So it's more of understanding the intent and doing what you know from your experience to be right. Occasionally, and maybe it's the case in this Renderdome with the repos that have taken place, sometimes there's some black bars at the top or the side, where they did a rough positioning, but in reality, it really shouldn't be in that exact spot. It should be more framed in a way that doesn't show any black bars. Same with time warps. If it's a crunchy time warp that they did, maybe do your best to smooth it out, either with a machine learning time warp or just with a smoother curve. I think a lot of the time, it boils down to intent. What did they intend to do? Yeah. How does it look? Try to make it look the best. That's kind of what.
That's a good way to explain it. That's good. Good intent.
When it comes to intent, I always look for things like match on action across cuts. If the last frame of the offline, someone exits or something hits, and that motion is picked up on the following frame, that's a key or a cue to me that this is what the intention was. Same thing with sound. Sometimes if you hear the music or whatever, you can see that they were trying to ramp to go along with either a sound effect or with the music track.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I think
listening to the audio track, cutting with that,
Yeah. I think 9 times out of 10, if you approach the editor with the frame of mind that you're there as a creative partner, to try to help bring their vision to light, then they're usually very accommodating. But I do want to give a shout to Michael Landon in the chat. He's true, or he speaks the truth when he says it's easier to convince clients in a commercial or editors in a commercial to change. But when you're dealing with like a trailer, a TV show, film, it's got to be a whole different ball of wax. All right, we're going back to Bernd. Here it looks like he's got. Oh, he's employing. Whoa! What is going on here, Jeff? What are we looking at?
This is great.
It's like a kaleidoscope.
I don't know why it was flipped.
It
that was
like
pretty cool.
Kaleidoscope we're watching.
But yeah, here we have this is the 9x16 version where the editor has employed an interesting solution to the 9x16 version. I've seen this many times before. You know, the side note is I'm the one who did this, but I kind of like this solution. Like, sure, it gets pretty busy, and maybe in this exact instance it's a little bit too busy. But I kind of like this as a solution to the 9x16. Like here's a great example. You have two women on either side of the frame. A normal 9x16 version, you got to choose one or the other. If the narrative really insists that you see both of them, how do you solve that? Well, you solve that by putting something else on the top and the bottom and scaling it way down. Again, this does cause it to be a bit more work for this 9x16 version compared to its 16:9 counterpart, and it makes it so that it's totally not a lift because it's extra footage in this version compared to the others, but I think it's an elegant solution to that problem.
Agreed. Creative solution to an editorial problem. All right, we're back here looking at Bryan Bayley.
Hey, can you hear me?
Bryan, how yes, sir. How far along are you? How many conforms have you completed?
I guess my approach is a little different when I get everything, all the media linked, all of the edits will be conformed except for, repos and stuff within each one. So I'm still working through that, but I think it'll go pretty quick once everything's linked. And I have a question for the producer.
Yes, that's me.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
Should I have the website insert yet? I don't see that. That's for the laptop screen.
Oh, great question. Sorry, I don't think I was very clear on that one. There's another vendor taking care of that comp, the screen comp. So,
great.
No worries about the website. Nope.
And that's coming to us soon?
That'll come to us
sometime within the next 17 minutes.
They haven't let me know that it's done yet, but I'm sure when it's done they'll let me know.
Okay.
Oh, so I actually have a question for Jeff now. So Jeff, at what point when you're working on social versions do you ask them for the layouts for where they're going? So for example, if we know we're working on Instagram 1x1s, we got 4x5s, 9x16, Snapchat 9x16, at what point the conform process do you say you need those specs? You want to make sure that nothing goes into like the UI interface for the social media.
Interesting. I think it's a real mixed bag. Sometimes they account for that on the rough cut stage, and they're thinking about that early on in the process. And sometimes they don't even make rough cuts for the different aspect ratios. They say, oh yeah, by the way, we need 9x16 versions, and there's no reference for it, and it's up to us to figure that out. I've seen some clients get very stickler about safety on that, and then other clients, they really don't care too much. Again, I think it boils down to the media buy, where it's going. If it's going to be an Instagram ad, then you got to worry about that stuff. And I think it also depends on the agency. Sometimes I think some agencies care more about that than others. But no, I usually, I guess maybe this is my fault, I usually kind of leave it up to the agency to kind of insist on being a stickler about that, because I think they know more than I do about where this stuff is going and how strict to be about that.
Cool.
So, Jeff, I have a question. Do you know when the next MP4s are arriving for the next cuts? Or at least for the next resolutions, not the cuts, sorry.
How's your status? Are you in a good place right now?
So I've conformed the first one. I'm doing some effects. So it would be great to have some references for the next resolutions, like the 15 seconds in 9:16 or 1:1.
Okay, I can check in with the editorial and see if they're ready.
We're going to have Jeff pick up his phone again and call himself? This is absolutely the best thing ever.
Dude.
Hey, where are those cuts? We're working here, and we got 15 minutes left. I don't understand how you think this is going to be possible.
Get Jeff Kyle on the phone. Damn it. All right.
Let's get some music
Bernd
going.
Is starting to, yes.
Got some colors. It's great.
Bernd is starting to animate. It looks like animate a blur to match the offline for the end tag there. Hey,
And by the
Randy,
way,
can you see
props
if
on
we
the
can get
VO. Really good VO on these spots.
Yeah, who was that?
Yeah, right.
Oh, there's the music.
Right?
Music that we've
Yes.
come to love.
Yes. So Bernd is working on the end tags now. Let's go back to Bryan and see how or Bailey rather, and let's see how he's doing.
Please hold.
Mr. Producer,
Yes, hello.
Oh, Bryan has a question.
my AAF or XML had legal, but I don't see it in the reference, so just curious. What's up with that?
Oh,
I'll put it in
interesting.
there for now.
Where was the legal?
Yeah, in the reference. We'll put it in there for now. Usually offline editors don't care about legal, so I deal with that.
Interesting. I guess
This
I
is
dealt
not
with
your
some
normal
that
offline editor here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is a special offline editor. Who knows? I think
His name is Kyle Jefferson.
From what I've learned from dealing with the editor and what I know about the approval process, they did do the legals in the offline. So whatever the offline has, the offline is correct. So wherever
Okay.
it's placed in the offline, that's correct.
Oof. I've heard that before, and I don't know.
Yep. Follow the edit. The edit's changed.
I know. I heard their conversations with the legal department. The legal department says they only need the legal to appear for the screen comps. So when there's a
okay.
screen comp, that's where the legal needs to be.
Did they happen to mention opacity?
I think they said they like
No.
they like 60%, but we'll see. Whatever the just match the feel of the offline, and that's good.
Yeah, just iMatch it. You'll be good.
I love this so much. Brian Fox, where are we in the countdown? Are we about 10 minutes left to go? You put that
Oh,
clock
12
over
minutes.
me. There
12
we go.
minutes,
Yes.
Andy. Yep, you notice that placement is absolutely
The
purposeful.
placement's perfect.
12
At
minutes
10
to go on the clock.
At 10 minutes, I'll throw the clock up permanently, and we'll just let it run.
Oh my God! I think my email is going crazy. I think I just got the next updates. If everyone's ready for that, is that all right?
Oh, that's great.
Okay, I have
Yes,
a ton of
Bernd and
updates.
Jeff.
I've been on
Sorry.
calls left and right. My inbox is flooded. I'm at the end of my
It's
rope.
exploding.
But I just got my wits about me, and I'm ready to give you some info. First things first, the outside vendor that was taking care of the screen comp just finished, and they sent that our way. So I have a ProRes 4444, the screen comp, ready for you. It also looks like the legal team finally got around to looking at the rough cuts, and of course they have some notes. I let the agency know that we are up against the wall here, but they insist it has to be changed, so we have some revised legals for you for all the aspect ratios for that cafe spot. I also got the rest of the cuts from the editor. 9x16 and 1x1 for cafe 6 is ready. And last but not least, the mix house gave us the 15 mix. They said they're still working on the 6. So I've zipped that all up for you. I've loaded it for you. It's ready. It's in the Prep 02 folder. And I can tell you the password is waffles.
I'm sensing a
I love the
theme.
breakfast food.
Oh my God, I'm
This is
starving.
great. I know.
So,
All this
Jeff,
food.
just as a recap, Jeff, they've approved the other 2 cuts. You got the screen comp from the other post house, and updated. We got updated legals. Is that what you said? Or end tag?
Yeah,
logos? Legals. There it is.
The legal department.
Final
the legal
2.
Team, yeah, the legal team has concluded that we needed to revise that. So the designer revised the legals. He used the naming convention that we know and love. It was final, but now it's a new final, so that's called Final 2. Makes sense to me, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense to everybody.
No, it's
Yeah,
great because
absolutely.
it leaves the door open for Final 2 Rev. You know, so.
Yeah.
Let's hope not. Let's hope not.
10
And,
minutes.
in typical
10
client
minutes.
fashion, they have. Are they giving us any more time, Jeff? Or at this point, or is it just we're just going to race to see? We should just proceed as we're going and see if we can get everything done in
let's see
time
if
for
we
their
can do
meeting.
it. If I have to, I can get on the phone with them and beg for some more time. They said that they have a 3:04 deadline.
Yeah, absolutely.
Needs to be out by 3:04. No more No less.
Man, as one
But we'll
does.
see. We'll
Oh,
see.
but-
if I have to
but
have that
what time
conversation, I have to have
zone?
that conversation. That's why I
Yes.
signed up for this job, because I'm willing to have those tough conversations.
Okay, so Bailey and Bernd, you have additional prep in the Prep 2 folder. Just keep plowing away. It looks like Bailey is
Looks like
lining
Bryan
up.
has already put it in. I see that finished screen comp there. That's cool.
Nicely
And
done.
I talked
Very
with
nice.
the editor. I said, listen, editor, that first round of prep was crap. You gotta step up your game.
Just like that.
And so he said, I apologize.
Listen,
This
editor.
is my first job. Please go easy on me. And so he did a little bit of a better job on this round of prep. So hopefully you'll find that these last two spots are a little bit easier than the first 5.
So at what point do we choose violence? That's what I want.
The 304.
Yeah,
is
the
what
only
we do.
downside is,
That's the
from what I
point.
can see, it looks like the outside vendor who did the screen comp really did not do a good job maintaining that time code. So we won't use them again.
No, they're dead.
Yeah,
to
hopefully
us.
it's in the right color space too.
We can only hope. We can only hope.
That's actually a very accurate representation of the industry, Jeff. You have someone who did like an unbelievable job compositing for you in an insane amount of time. But the time code was screwed up, so we're never going to give them any work again, ever. And we're going to tell everyone how horrible they are. And that's
Yeah,
the
I mean,
business.
that's how it is.
Didn't T-click. Forgot the T-click.
Forgot
That's
to
right.
click.
Well, we see Bernd has got the comp in there. Jeff, a question for the producer. Why exactly, what's new about the legals? They sent over new legals. What has changed?
Yes, the legals. Originally, there was an extra line at the end that said something about, you know what? I didn't look at it too closely. I just know that they didn't like that last line there, and they had to remove it. So they had to just nix
Gotcha.
that. That's what's different here about this newest legal.
Gotcha. So the legal department approved the first legal, and now they're sending over revised approved legal from the legal department.
Yeah, you know how it goes. They
Okay,
they
that's
actually
how it
looked at it
goes.
this time. The first time around they didn't look at it and they
Not so
approved it,
much.
but this time around they actually looked at it and
Yeah.
they just why are you saying this line? You can't say that. You can't say that. So
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
what we've got.
I'm glad that these aren't not the same people who work at the antidote department of the poison control hotline. You know, Brian Fox, your thoughts?
My thoughts is this is a perfect final grab of Bailey here, in pure panic as screen
They're
share
going
is
out.
completely gone. That's what I have for Brian. So good to see.
That's my calm client face. Nothing's wrong here. Nothing's wrong.
Absolutely, absolutely.
You know, we didn't ask Mr. Bailey what hotkeys do you use?
I am Smoke Classic.
What?
Wow.
This is amazing.
Two
Yes.
smokers here.
You think you know a guy?
Oh,
You know, it's amazing.
That's amazing. I love it. I love it. This is great. This is great.
No judgments.
All the judgments.
Yeah, it's 2022. Come on.
How's my feed been since I restarted?
Yeah,
Doing
every.
okay?
I mean, this.
Tasty.
I mean, this part is fantastic, right? But the,
This is great.
the flame part is.
Gotta make a meme out of this.
Flames
It's always
great.
2:30 in Brian's office there.
It is.
In Bailey's office, excuse me, because the clock's frozen.
5 minutes left. I might be asking my producer for more time if it were me. And when I say asking my producer more time, I also, if timer needs to be adjusted, need time to adjust timer.
Brian needs 6 minutes to adjust the 5-minute timer.
I need to write a small script to adjust timing. So
Got to get your Fortran guide out.
a little bit of heads
All
up
right.
might be nice.
Oh man. Let's see. Brian
Head over,
Bailey,
Bernd.
trying to count how many conforms you have there. Oh, we're back on Bernd. Bernd, what are you doing right now? What part of the process are you in?
I'm like everywhere right now, so I jumped to the end logo. I totally forgot about it. I now have to do the last resolutions for the 6 seconds cafe.
It's a stressful
Are we thinking we need a
Crazy.
little bit of extra time?
I think, you know, if
Extra
you
time's always
could
good.
get a little bit more time from the client, that would be great. You know, I'd rather give them.
I'll see if I can.
I always
see if I
prefer to
can
give
make
them
that
something.
happen.
You know, give them everything that they want, rather than you know, half of what they want. Well, I think we've hit the loop on the music tracks. We're back in the Matrix. Dun, dun, dun,
Just trying to
dun,
sneak that one in.
Coming full circle.
No, it's perfect.
I felt this really encapsulated the vibe in my mind.
That's good. Just an update on Bernd's dog. Still sleeping through the process.
Still sleeping.
Light is still on. Dog is still sleeping.
Has not moved at all.
Got a wine bottle? Is that what that is?
Is that vodka?
We're doing good. Yeah, right? What is
No, it's water.
What is that a bottle? Oh,
it's
water.
fancy
Okay.
water. Yeah, that's okay. It's water, quote unquote. It's good.
Nice.
Totally not judging. Oh, maybe a little.
And we go back to Bryan Bayley here. He is working on putting in that brilliant comp from that company that will never get our business again.
Locking some tracks, using some versions. This is good.
Yeah.
So Jeff, I got a question for you here. Like, are you the kind of person that, like, when you do, when you have to check your A to B, are you doing version tracks, where you do version 1 and then you difference, or do you kind of like do like up down arrow, you know, check track up and down? Because I think when I first started conforming, I always had my rough cut on the first layer and then just layered things on top of it as I conformed, and so I could just up and down arrow. But now I'm realizing I do actually like the versioning better to be able to difference. What's your favorite?
Oh, I'm a big fan. My original, the mentor that taught me everything I know about Flame, really insisted, for good reason, that your rough cut should be on a different version. And the reason for that is just that, you know, on the off chance that there's a mistake somewhere and you're revealing that bottommost layer, there's never ever a world where you ever want to see that rough cut in your final. And if you ever do want to see your rough cut in the final, you could always duplicate it up. You could always do that. But I really insist, and I think it's the right. I really do insist that, and again, if you're careful, this is a non-issue. But it's my opinion that it should always be on a different version, just for safety purposes, in case there's a mistake somewhere.
Or there's like a dissolve or something like that, and all of a sudden you reveal a rough. Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Good call.
Yep, and then you got those magical hotkeys, so you can switch between primary and secondary. Andrew Malvasio in the chat has got it absolutely right. Brian Fox, how are we doing on extending the time? Because the last time I saw the clock, we're down to a minute 30.
Versioning. Yes, Mark Wellington, yes.
I'm just but a lowly director, so I have no power.
Works from the libraries.
Andy, that would have to be a question for the producer.
Yeah, I was about to ask Jeff, have we gotten the go-ahead from the client for more time?
Let's see, I have a text right here that says, we are a go for extra time. They were able to get 10 minutes, but that's the real drop dead time there.
How generous.
I know.
Perfect. So guys, Bernd and Bryan Bayley, we got 10 extra minutes. Keep cranking away. Jeff Kyle, what was that you were drinking? Was that like a passion fruit spritzer or something?
Oh, it sure looks like it. No, I believe this is.
Where's the mug?
Emergency.
Oh, those are the best.
Oh,
it seems to be. I used it yesterday, and I think it's in the dishwasher, the drying rack.
Nice.
Oh, I got another question for you, Jeff. So do you like to work where you unlock your libraries and work in the libraries, or do you like to bring everything to like your desktop and work that way? What's your favorite way of getting all your conforms ready?
Yeah, this is definitely a philosophy question. And my philosophy, I treat the library as a safe space that I like to leave alone. I treat the library as that saved location, and I treat the desktop as my working location. So I love working in the desktop. I have all my work that happens there. And then once I feel good about that work, or if I ever want to save that work, I throw it into the library. That's where I like to save things. But
that makes sense. Did you ever work on the older version? I was just going to say, he mentioned something in the chat.
Yeah, because I work very closely with Josh. I work with Josh Lawrence now.
Yeah, so that makes sense why he said that. That's why I brought that up.
and that's all right. You know, everyone has their
No,
own
it's cool.
reasons for it.
Jeff uses Flame hotkeys and prefers the desktop, which means that to half the people in this chat, he's the Antichrist. Amanda, you were going to say something?
I was just going to say, with the older version of Flame, if you guys remember, there was like this, the library was like in this other screen, this other area, this other safe space, as you were to say, Jeff, so it's a very good spot. So when people were first learning on this new, that, you know, kind of comes from like the Final Cut like background, they wanted the safe space, quote unquote. So a lot of people they were starting to work in their libraries thinking that the other footage was someplace else, and so they didn't realize that you could lock. And so at the very beginning, when people were learning this, they were just deleting their sequences, thinking it was someplace else. So yeah, so it's like that old school mindset of like there was always this library someplace else that I could like pick my footage in, and then the desktop is my safe space. I'm actually the other way around. I work directly from the libraries, but I'm very good about copying and duplicating my folders and doing it that way. So if I'm doing new versions, I just automatically do it. And that's from my editorial background. When they're like, try a version with this, you just duplicate. Okay, no, this version A is called this. Well, let's try a version with this. Let's version B, let's try this. So having that editorial background, I just constantly am duplicating and like naming my sequences. But yeah, I like to work directly from the library.
We're down to 8 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. 8 minutes to go, my friends.
That is not a lot of time left.
From the from the chat, Jeff Andrew's wondering, do you still save your desktop?
Josh.
Yeah, good question about saving my desktop. When I worked with Andy Milkus, which we all know and love,
heard of him.
The workflow was to have daily desktops. So I would always save. Since I've moved on to a different company, I've stopped saving my desktops just because I think the workflow that we're implementing doesn't really use save desktops. So I'm flexible. I'm able to, when I needed to save my desktop because that was the workflow of the day, I was happy to. Now that I don't need to, that's fine too. I'm happy to explore different workflows and see what works. So right now, the answer is no, I don't really save my desktop. I do it a little bit more manually, and I'm okay with that. I like the extra organization that I get from a manual organization.
Yeah,
of course you'll do it to what that studio wants to.
Ever since I started working for myself, and especially since I spent time with a guy named Patrick, I've given up saving daily desktops. I will have a desktop that I just kind of work out of, and it's been life-changing. So let's go back. We have about 5 minutes left to go, I believe. Let's go back to looking at Bryan and Bernd's screens and see... 6.5 minutes left to go. Bryan Bayley, how many conforms have you completed?
Let's see. I'm on the last one.
All right.
Wow, that's great.
Excellent. And Bernd, what about you?
I'm 1, 2, 3, 4 finished. I need to finish the Cafe 9 to 16.
All right.
And
Did you get a chance
everything is missing there and logo. Not yet.
Okay.
Okay. Clock is ticking, ladies and gentlemen. The clients are getting anxious. They're checking in with our producer, bugging him every 30 seconds.
Yep, they want to know if we have something to show them yet.
Posting.
Yeah.
Do you have a link yet? That's what they're asking over and over again.
Yes, Michael Landon, saving your whip desktops. That's good too. Archives are huge. That's good point.
As we're getting close to the end. If Brian Fox, if you could keep the clock up, just so I don't give the wrong time call out again.
That's a bit too much to ask. So
feel free to cover me up.
I may have. I'm gonna say no to that.
Okay, very good. Well, with the few minutes we have left. Oh, there we go. We're 5 minutes left.
Really
Hold on.
Don't know why it just goes off like that, but somewhere Ben's laughing right now because he's a lot better at these things than I.
Get myself above the clock.
Ben's right now thanking everyone.
We're just under. Ben Brownlee is opening up a bottle of champagne and
he's clinking glasses
and burning an effigy of you right now from wherever he happens to be.
Watching me struggle with the most basic of scripts, the most basic, like not being able to adjust that. So
we just have a few minutes left. We're watching our two contestants here race to the finish line. This is extremely exciting. I want to thank Jeff Kyle for not only for preparing all of this material and acting as the editor, the assistant editor, the producer, and everything in between. It's been absolutely exciting watching two flame artists conform. Again, it's not something that I've ever. It's like I've always for 20 plus years been on the other side of the screen, and so this has been great. We're getting down there.
Any sympathy?
I will say,
pains?
sadly, we don't have a lot of opportunity to like really dig in here because like we don't want to interrupt them. But afterwards, we're going to be all getting together and talking about this whole process on Discord. So if you want to ask questions about more nitty gritty stuff, head on over to Discord afterwards, and we can definitely chat.
Bourbon barrel aged chocolate barley wine. Ooh.
Bryan
Something
Bayley, did you just ask
YouTube
am I
chat.
having any sympathy pains for you?
Any sympathy pains at all?
Yeah, I actually have a tablet and a Wacom tablet and a keyboard that are not hooked up to anything right now, and I've been like when you give your you take your like 3-year-old like on in the car and in the car and on their car seat they have a steering wheel that isn't attached to anything. It's basically the setup that I have here, but it's helped me get through this very stressful time. All right, we're just a couple minutes away.
And you know what?
3
I
minutes,
just got
ladies and
an
gentlemen.
email with the. It
Oh
looks
my
like we
God.
have a couple of new.
Oh, another
things.
email.
Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Another email.
boy.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
It looks. They say
Wow.
that it's the last time, but who knows? It looks like they just
final
double check. The designer people just double checked their work, and it looks like they made a typo with that last legal. So they've just sent that legal one more time, and then we finally have the 6-second mix from the mix house. That's all. Just 2 things. So if you, I just prepped that for you. I made it into a zip.
Maybe
I put it on the server.
Pop, maybe doesn't.
And if you wanna, maybe it has a G-pop, maybe it doesn't. It does. It does. So if you unzip that last Prep 03 zip, the password is bratwurst.
Woohoo! Oh, so hungry.
Bratwurst.
Right?
Such a curious choice. Pancakes, waffles to bratwurst. Just
Yes.
Yeah.
We wanted to
Well,
be
you gotta have a
inclusive
little
of
protein.
everyone from
Right.
2 carbs and a protein. It's the breakfast of champions.
I'm not saying no. I'm just curious.
So let's take a look at this prep. We just got the 6-second mix. That's Logik Jumpstart 6 final. The last final is all caps. That's how you know they mean business.
Sure, that's how you know. Yeah.
And it looks like
And
the
we've
legals
got,
are now named final 2 Rev because it's been revised.
We've entered the Rev phase of. Oh my God.
Perfect.
All right, so we'll see if our 2 contestants can incorporate these things with the final minute I think we have left.
Yeah, where's that timer?
Ooh.
I don't know.
There it is.
Yes, we have 1 minute 15 seconds left.
Oh, it's above you. That's nice placement.
Oh, look at that! Wait.
This is my finest hour.
right?
This is my finest
Did you notice
hour.
Oh my. That's incredible. This is like your Citizen Kane, Brian.
only on certain setups.
Right, it's just saw myself move up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Exactly.
Maybe somebody's working behind the scenes a little too hard on this.
Yeah, Citizen Kern is what we should call it, right? See what I did there?
Kern.
Inner font.
Inner font.
Wait,
All
what's
right.
the cataracts? You just what he said.
30
There
seconds.
must be 30 seconds left,
30
Brian and Bernd.
seconds.
30 seconds.
Unbelievable.
Let's see how close you can get.
It's however far you can get.
That's it.
Dun dun dun.
Everyone's
dun.
career is hanging in the balance.
Everybody's watching.
Most of your clients have a mortgage payment on their vacation home that they would like to be able to make, but they will not be able to do that or put their kids through private school if these are not completed in the next 10 seconds. Now you know what's at stake.
No pressure.
3,
4,
4,
3,
3,
2.
Wait, who's
one.
looking at 1? Oh, 1, 0.
And that's it. Bernd and Brian, put your pens down. That's it. Have a drink.
I'm going to
Wait
try to
for the
get my
dog.
webcam back up.
Renderdome. In fact, don't wait the dog. Renderdome 3 is at an end. While we're waiting for Brian to get his camera up and running again,
I like it like
Bernd
that.
Hildebrandt, how you feeling?
Really stressed. So I didn't finish everything. The last one is missing, a 6-second cafe. And I think 3 legals are also, and the audios. It could have been better, definitely.
Gotcha. Well, there's always next time. And all these cuts are going to change anyway after the meeting. Bryan Bayley, struggling with his webcam. How are you feeling, my friend?
Wow. Technical issues trying to throw me off there. And that's something we deal with. So I was trying to work through it and keep working. I don't know if I got as far as Bernd, but we can talk about it and see.
What a pro, Bryan. What a pro, Bayley. What a pro.
see just how far everybody got. Maybe we can go back to each person's flame screens and they can walk us through where they are so we can assess.
Yeah, how far they got.
Let's do it.
What do you want to start with?
We'll
start with Bernd.
We'll start with Bernd. We'll see his flame.
Okay, hold on.
Okay, let me just close everything. So this one is the 15 seconds. It has everything but the next legal and the audio. So the audio is still in MP4. Right here, if you want, I can show you side by side. Then the cafe 6:9 is, here it is also finished.
I like your use of color coding. What is that for? What is yellow?
Yeah, this one,
blue mean?
So blue is everything with a met, so I know which one is a super or which one has an alpha. And the yellow one was for conforming, so I know if I have more shots on another sequence and they are also yellow, I know, okay, these are from somewhere I already had been.
Oh, right, because I see the little link symbol there. Yeah, they're link segments.
Yep.
Nice.
So,
okay, moving on.
So here the legal is not finished as it was at the last second putting it there. But the audio is here. The cafe 6 seconds is that one I didn't finish. So the split screen is not done and the split screen is not done. So let's just skip it. The flow is 6 seconds. 6:9 is also finished. See, I forgot to delete the claim. So right is the offline, left is my one. 1:1 is finished. And 9:16. We have the split screen done. We have the legal here, and we have the audio and the end logo without the claim. Oh no, we don't have the. Oh, it is.
The legal is maybe incorrect because I think that they were talking about how the legal only needs to be on there for the screen comps. So that one's a little bit off, but it's all right.
Then.
If I'm going to be very picky, it also looks like the background image there behind the logo, the size of it, the repos does not match the offline.
Good catch.
Definitely not.
All right. Still a very noble. Do you have one more to show us? Or was that it?
It's every cuts we have. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah.
Excellent. Well, a very, very, very noble effort. You did an amazing job. Let's, Bryan.
Good job.
Bryan Fox. Let's give a round of applause to Bernd Hildebrandt. There we go.
Yay.
Great job.
Nice. Excellent. All right. And let's switch over to Bryan Bayley. And Bryan, let's take a look at what you've got.
Don't yell at me. There you go.
Why would I yell at you when the community can do it for me? All right, Bryan, take us through.
Yep,
Okay.
you're up.
Yes, sir.
You're up.
Let's see. I've got an Anthem 15. Everything's in there. If I had more time, I would really get the repos exactly right. There's a little small differences in repos. I have the render from the other guys. Got the in there. I've got the we're not sure what it means either. That fades on.
Great.
And the blur was fading on. I had it keyframed. What happened there? I got my keyframes backwards for coming on with the blur. Let's see. Cafe 6, 16 by 9. Same thing. I would take more time to do repos and match those kind of moves. So I didn't do that pan there. All of my edits, I have that CG or the other company that render. And
Great.
Same thing there. And I was going to question again the producer. Are you sure the offline is absolutely correct? Because I thought we would have the tagline come up there. So I have the tagline, but I can turn it off if the producer tells me, nope, just do
I think the idea was that they didn't have enough time for the tagline on the 6s, so they were just going to leave. It's just the 15 that has the tagline. Yeah.
Okay. On my social deliverables, I don't have the letterboxing yet. I would just add a burn-in letterbox. I hadn't gotten to that yet, but I was working on the repo positions of everything. So again, I didn't do exact reframes that the editor did. 9 by 16, same thing. I need to repo. I started to build that one.
It feels like what we're seeing on the screen is not the same as what you're saying. That's the
it's way behind.
Is going on.
My flame screen is way behind. I can see it now.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah, it looks like we're having problems sending the two signals from your place.
All right, let's kill that webcam again so you can see the flame screen.
Yeah.
But the only thing is, Brian, you still there?
Yeah.
Is your audio coming from your web, or is your audio coming from the flame? Just don't kill it. I can, you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Let me try again. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'll try again to talk through it, but just my approach is get all of the correct content in and then go back through and do all the repos and fine-tune matching to what the editor did. So I have everything in all of the edits, and then I just need to go back and A/B, repos and stuff like that. I did not get that last legal change in there, though. Those are sitting on my desktop ready to drop in.
Understandable. I like the cleanliness of your desktop and everything, actually. It looks very nice.
And I don't know if everybody caught this or not, when we got the new edits, because I've set up the linked sources sequence, when I dropped those new XMLs in, I hit update sources sequence, and those new edits got the new footage in them automatically. I didn't have to go back through conforming again.
Wow, and it worked great.
Ran on Jeff Kyle.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I use that a lot because we definitely get cut downs a day or two after I start working on the 30 or the 15.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm sorry,
all right.
My screen is still way behind my flame screen.
That's okay.
We get the idea.
That's okay.
That's cool, though. Good job.
Go ahead. Let's give a round of applause to Bryan Bayley, Mr. Brian Fox, keeper of the button.
There it is.
Nice. Congratulations, Bryan Bayley. All right, my friends, we're going to talk about this a little bit more, but I am going to go ahead and put a poll in the YouTube chat. And everyone who's in the chat is going to be able to vote for who they think won Renderdome 3. So stand by for that. Here it comes.
I think it's
getting
very
praise,
close,
guys.
to tell you the truth.
I think it's
great work,
close,
amazing job under pressure.
Great job by both.
All right.
Every time we do these, it's
Last
never
call for
lost.
beers.
It's so intense.
First call for beers. What do you think?
Oh.
Yeah, this is not an easy task. I did not,
Absolutely
not. If I was, obviously I can't make it the easiest conform ever because that's not good TV, but so it has to have some adversity. But you guys did a great job handling that adversity.
Yeah.
And there were good questions
It's
too that you
amazing.
guys had, so that was really good.
Absolutely.
It was very genuine. I know we internally, Amanda and Jeff and I had, we talked a lot about how to structure a conform challenge like this. It's so easy. I mean, it's comparatively very easy to do a compositing challenge. We give you like one shot and then some notes. There you go. But here it really was trying to figure out what would be the most authentic recreation of the insanity that is sometimes, conforming, especially as a commercial artist. Well done.
And it is more and more to where the clients expect to be done once the edit is locked. So you're expected to hurry.
Is it done yet?
They forget about the online finishing phase.
Yeah,
and it takes time to post too. They forget about that part.
I'm gonna have a great time. I think we're gonna have a great time in that afterward Discord chat, because I'll have a lot of questions for each of them, and hopefully other people will have some more questions about just how they felt, what their approach was. I'd love to pick your brain, Bryan, about the update sources sequence. That's fantastic.
Sure.
But yeah, great stuff.
Yeah, Bryan Bayley was using the versioning, and then Bear was using the tracks up and down that we were talking a while ago. So they both had their different ways of how they were tackling stuff. So that was good.
The praise is coming in the chat. Great job under stress, both of you. Awesome job. Great job with everyone watching over your shoulders. Amazing job under pressure. Ben Brownlee says, great work, both of you, which means he specifically left Brian Fox out of his praise. I read that between the lines.
Ben and I are great friends. We're great colleagues. We give each other crap all the time. We were born on the same day, the same year.
Wow.
But I will say, I was 3 hours ahead, so easy, son, easy. Okay,
that shows.
Always your elder. Always listen to your elders.
Respect your elder.
No, great job, Bernd and Bryan. I mean, me personally, always love to watch a pro work, and you guys both define that. Under pressure, I can't believe you weren't chewing Jeff out more. I wanted more yelling at the producer. And Bryan, thank you for not yelling, like I said, at your public access director, who is throwing curveballs at you constantly, emails from out, freeze frames. That was not an easy task. So great job to both of you. Very, very impressive to see. I'm always impressed when we do these as to how fast a pro flame artist can work. So great to see. Great job to both of you.
Yeah, both of you just dove right in, and it was just boom, 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 boom,
rapid fire, so fast.
And thank you so much, Jeff, for not doing the edits.
Yes, did what I could.
Lovely. I'm going to close the voting in another minute, so if you haven't voted in the poll in the YouTube chat, please do.
Do it now. Do it now.
How many votes are we looking at? It looked pretty good last I checked.
Looks like it's 27 votes so far.
Nice.
Have Amanda, Andy, and Jeff, have you guys voted?
No. I have not.
I didn't feel like... I don't think I'm allowed to vote.
You could vote?
I don't want to vote.
You don't want to sway.
As far as I'm concerned, Bryan, the community wins when we do something like this.
We all win. We're all winners.
I voted.
Right?
So I voted.
Except Bryan Fox.
All right. I'm going to close the voting here. Let's see what we have. End poll. And it looks like we're waiting for YouTube to do this complex tabulation. And the winner is Bernd Hildebrandt. Let's give it up for Bernd.
Awesome.
Nice. Good job, man. That was great.
Thank you so much.
Wake the dog. Let them know,
Right?
Stella. Well, she's like, man.
You won?
Great.
Okay.
That's cool. She knew all along.
Well, congratulations,
Yeah, thanks. It was a really
Bernd.
challenging task. So sorry, Andy. No, you can.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Good job, guys.
You did a great job. I have your prize.
I was going to say, don't we have stuff?
Wacom Cintiq right here. There's a better
Nice.
picture of it on
Awesome.
the front of the back. We will send that over to
Beautiful.
you.
Are you going to
And
hand
the
it
pen is
down?
not
Just
really
on
hot.
the
Right?
screen?
I was going to ask,
Brand
maybe,
new pen.
Bryan, do you think Boris FX will sponsor me going to Hamburg and delivering that to Bernd? Think of the social capital you get. Bryan, your thoughts?
So actually was on the phone with Wacom, okay, who was going to send you until you mispronounced it. Yeah, again, as Wacom. So they would have sent you, but sorry. Maybe next time.
Well,
Maybe
lesson learned.
At least he said AJA correctly, so that's good.
Congratulations, Bernd.
Andy, you're going to. Yeah. Andy, you're going to IBC. We can meet there, maybe.
We're trying. We're absolutely trying. We'd love to meet you there. All right, my friends. Well, congratulations. And also congratulations, Bryan Bayley. You have won yourself a 12-month license for the Boris FX suite.
Awesome.
Let's have a
I
round
feel
of
like the
applause
real
for
winner
Bryan
for
Good
that.
job. Nice.
Right? And again, I want to thank both of you for agreeing to come on here and do this live in front of all of your peers. That's no small victory. It's an absolutely daunting thing, especially having done it myself. All right, we are going to wrap this up, and but continue the conversation over on the Logik TV Discord. So head on over there if you haven't signed up. Just head on over to the forum, forum.logik.tv. Click the Logik TV Discord button at the top. Make sure you smash the like and subscribe button down here before you leave YouTube. And I just want to... Oh, there we go. Thank you, Brian Fox. Yep, that's the Logik TV Discord. Join the conversation over there right now, if you wouldn't mind. And just want to go back one slide, Brian, to let everyone know what's coming up on Logik Live. Coming up next Sunday, July 24th at 2 p.m., Autodesk Stefan Labrie will be joining us. And then on Sunday, August 7th, we're going to have an Ask Me Anything with CPA David Kameny. He's a certified public accountant who works in the post-production business. So if anyone has any questions about how they're structuring their flame business at home, be sure to tune in there and ask your questions. And Sunday, August 21st, we're going to finish up the Summer of Flame and have Jasmine Fernet come on. Jasmine's one of the developers at Autodesk, and he'll be giving the developers' perspective. So I want to thank them. That's certainly a lot to look forward to in the weeks ahead. And if you haven't already checked it out, check out my interview with Bryan Bayley on the Logik podcast. You can catch that on anywhere where podcasts are available. It was a great interview, and thank you very much, Bryan.
That guy.
Thank you, Bryan Bayley. Thank you, Bernd. I want to thank Bryan Fox and his amazing team in the Boris FX arena. How many people do you have on that team right now, Bryan?
What? Who? Me? It's me.
Exactly. Yes.
It's me. It's me.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Amanda, for another amazing job here in the Renderdome. We want to thank our sponsors, AJA, Hot Spring, and of course, Boris FX. They do amazing live streams every Wednesday. Be sure to check them out. And I want to thank everyone who tuned in today. You all make this community the amazing place that it is. We're going to head over to the after party on the Discord. For Logik TV, I'm Andy Milkis. Thank you very much, everybody, and we will see you all next time.
Thank you,
everybody.
Bye.
Bye.